Test 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2. Is that better? Sound a little bit better? No, not yet. I need to have somebody do sign language. I'll be able to catch out. So, Jesse, how we doing? No, you're good. You're still got a couple minutes. It's all good. Would you like some water?
Pamela's here. Pamela's here.
Yeah. Good. Test 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2. We're good? Here's the cable? Okay. Good. Hopefully that helps out, be able to transmit. All right. All right, Lynette, if you can actually go ahead and show us, it's at 6:30 right now. We'll go ahead and get started. And if you can go ahead and please take care of roll call.
District 1, Miguel Aguirre.
Here.
District 2, Richard Hughes.
Present.
District 3, David Emery.
Here.
District 4, Michael Rodriguez.
Here.
And District 5, Charles Cate.
Here.
All right. Thank you, Council. Appreciate everybody. And before we actually take the next step, I just want to go ahead and welcome a new member to our family, Zach Meadows, our new city administrator. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. We'll chat a little bit later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please rise, we'll go ahead and take care of Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Janice, I think we were supposed to say toot. Right? Yeah, for the Cub Scouts. I know, right? I know. We get used to doing that. All right. We're going to go ahead and move on to item number 4, is citizens to be heard. This is the opportunity for citizens. All right. Okay. This is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the City Council on any issue or any item on the agenda in compliance with LGC Section 551.007. City Council may not discuss any presented issue, nor may take any action at any issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each. Attorney General Opinion, JC-0169. I don't see anybody signed up for comments, but I still want to ask a few times. Anybody here to be heard? Going once? Going twice. Okay. Lynette, if you can put on there no comments, and we'll go ahead and move on. Council, let's go ahead and take care of item number 5, consent agenda. Consider the approval of the minutes. Let's go ahead and start with November the 13th, 2023.
Mayor, I want to start by making a motion to approve the minutes for November the 13th, 2023 as presented.
Okay, got a motion on the floor?
I'll second.
Got a second? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all yeas. Thank you, council. Let's go ahead and move on to number 2, November the 27th, 2023.
If we could state the full names on the open items, if we could put their full names, there's a couple of people that just had their first names.
Okay.
Mayor, I want to start by making a motion to approve the minutes for November the 27th, 2023 as presented.
Okay.
With the suggestion, with the modification suggested.
Okay, thank you. Do I have got a second? Okay. Further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Appreciate all yeas on that one. All right, let's go ahead and move on to B, consider the approval of the payment of the bills and the authorization to pay future December bills due to the cancellation of the second meeting. I think Lynette has provided you a listing there in front of you.
You had your full listing in your packet. What you have in front of you is additional that came in from the time that we did the packet that I would like to have approved too.
So council, take your time, take a look at that.
Lynette, why are the amounts for CPS, why are they, for instance, one's street lights and then the other's sewer electrical, are they not combined?
No, sir, they come in different, they have different account numbers.
Okay, thank you. Is that typical of our street lamps?
We have CPS on most of our street lamps come from
Right.
Reliant.
Oh, it
So,
does.
yeah, so most of them are Reliant. So it just depends on the location and where they're at.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Certain sides is a CPS and the other side's with Reliance/AEP. So,
I think CPS is only the park, if I remember right. You'd have to look on the notes on there. I put exactly where they're at.
Is that the PVT,
Yes.
which is,
PVT is private road.
okay, thank you.
What bills do we have coming at the end of the month?
I will get more of the CPS bills that will come in after the 14th. I don't have anything really huge pending. It may be some for Robbie stuff that comes in, but it's not going to be anything super. The attorney bill will come in. What else? That's about the biggest one that I'll get in. CPS and the attorney bill.
Mayor, I want to make a motion for the payment of bills and authorization of future December bills due.
the payment of those.
What's the cancellation of, due to this,
Yeah.
sorry, due to the cancellation of September, the second meeting in December.
Got a motion on the floor for us to go ahead and approve the bills as presented and also give the authorization for them to pay the future December bills. Got a second? Okay, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all yeas on that one. Thank you so much, council. Appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to item number 6. This is a public hearing regarding the tax abatement policy. And we're going to go ahead and show Lynette us going into that at 6:36 p.m. This is where there's a notice for all those interested persons. The City of Lidle is considering adopting a tax abatement program within the jurisdiction of the City of Lidle. Public hearing will be held and before City Council, City of Lidle, Texas, on the 11th day of December 2023 in the council chambers of City Hall of City of Lidle, Texas, for all those persons interested in the above proposed tax abatement policy. Okay, so there's an opportunity. I didn't see anybody signed in here. Is there anybody that would like to provide any type of comments? once, going twice. Okay. Let's go ahead and annotate no comments, Lynette, on that. And let's go ahead and show we're closing the hearing at 6:37 p.m. Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and jump right into the open session. This is take action on items that were discussed. A, consider and act upon the approval of the annual Citizenship Award Committee's recommendation for the Daniel J. McGrath Citizenship Awards. I'll turn it over to Alderman Rodriguez. Michael?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So first I want to send out a thank you to the committee. These guys really went above and beyond, a lot of work, a lot of devotion. I want to remind the city that this is simply a nomination process. You submit your nomination and the committee will review it. And then based on the nominations that were submitted, we come up with who we suggest and recommend the awards to go to. There was a lot of good submissions this year. I look forward to next year. We learned a lot. We're going to make a couple adjustments, but they're very minor. And I think the city of Lytle has a lot of special people that could get recognized. So I want to thank the city for stepping up and, making these submissions. That was real great. So, Mayor, a
Okay.
motion to approve the Annual Citizenship Award Committee recommendations of 2023 Annual Citizenship Award.
Okay.
Honorable mention to recognize an individual or group outside of the city of Lytle. Appointment awarded to Gabriel Garcia.
Okay.
Youth to recognize an individual 18 or under of the city of Lytle. Appointment awarded to Fatima Montes.
Okay.
Adult to recognize an adult 19 or over of the city of Lytle. Appointment awarded to Janice Jakes.
Okay.
And lifetime to recognize an individual who has demonstrated 10 plus years of cumulative service to the city of Lytle. Appointment awarded to Betty Kroger.
Got a motion on the floor?
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, all yeas on that one. So let's go ahead and take the time and for us to go ahead and recognize those. What do you think, Michael?
Sounds good.
That'll be a good time for us to go ahead and do that. Before we actually get started with that, I do want to take the time and just going to we have committee members that are here. Thank you for volunteering. Thank you for taking the time, being able to do this. This is something new that the city did. These folks that we're going to recognize tonight, these are people that were chosen by a group of folks from our city and went through the nomination process and everything. So that makes it even more special that within our own people, they made the selection and then brought that forward. So just like Michael said, we look forward to next year also for us to be able to do this. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go around and we're going to move the podium so we can take some photos. In case I need it. All right. Let's go ahead and take care of our first one. This one is really hard. This is a tough one. Be able to talk. Because when we were cleaning out City Hall, it was hard for us to say, I wonder who this person is. And what kind of impact he had to our community. I think Mom said it best. 15 years ago, Gabe actually put Lytle on the map. And it's so true. It is so true. So these are great things. I'm going to keep them, but that's okay. Okay, I have them in my office on there. But we want to make sure that we actually recognize you. The nomination, come on up. The nomination, I don't know whether to say come on up or sing. I don't know. But the nomination within itself spoke. The impact that he has done, not only from that time, but to now. Going out to our churches, helping them out, doing with events, coordinating our music festival, being able to come in and give us a little bit of pointers and what to do and what not to do. What are the things? And, he didn't send us a bill, didn't do anything like that. He was always involved in helping other people. He's always involved with kids. I've seen him with kids. And I tell you, that means the difference. Because we got to take care of our future. And you do a great job of being able to talk to them and advising them and helping them out and making an impact all the way across. But I do want to say one thing, because it was also mentioned in the nomination. On there, it mentioned that he would take the time to go with his dad to the park. His dad loved the park. And Gabe would go with him and be out there picking up trash or fixing the basketball net or doing anything and everything that needed to be done in the park. Because he was just following the footsteps. And I think that kind of lives inside of you. You still do. And I know your dad is here. And I know he would be proud of you. And this is a small token of appreciation on behalf of the committee and the council for us to be able to recognize you with the honorable mention. The first honorable mention award is the one that the beginning on there. And it has his name, and it says 2023, and it says making a difference for others. And all of our awards actually say that. So, council, if you can please stand up, join me. Over here, we're going to take a quick photo. There you go. If somebody can take a photo and then send it to me. That'd be great, so I can post it. Okay, somebody needs to send it to me. Take a photo. So I can post it. Are you gonna do it? Okay. While she's doing that. Okay. Awesome. All right, you can go. Any words? Anything you would like to share?
No, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for acknowledging everything I do here. Like I said, my brother and I grew up, my mom and my dad here doing a lot of stuff with the city, so we grew up around here. It's always going to be my hometown, even though I like other than Antonio, but I'm here anytime y'all need me. So, Roger, thank y'all, appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Gabe, can you sing a song?
Congratulations.
Jingle.
Do the encore. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our annual citizenship award youth.
All right.
This is awesome. Okay, so the nomination came out and, or in the paperwork that was submitted, highlighted her, how she came through some challenges. You know, joining and being able to understand the English language, right? And the confidence level of being able to figure out how she could actually make a determination of what would be next and what would be. And she was hesitant, she was holding back, but your counselor pushed you to honors class in English. And she took it on. And she actually did it so well that she kept helping other people and making a difference. And she became so critical. I heard that you kept grading and editing papers and they had to tell you to stop, right? Something like that. So it's just unbelievable. But the biggest thing, like I mentioned, the biggest thing that she did is that she formulated a group of people that actually, through the National Honor Society and the Hispanic National Honor Society, and she decided to take this group of folks and go to the elementary. Go to the elementary and help those kids. You know why I get that way? Postpone. That was me. So I appreciate everything. We appreciate everything you did in the sense of going out and making a difference with other kids and telling them, look, I can do this. You know, even English being my second language. She's actually applying for all these schools. She's doing a great job, and she's actually pursuing a degree in the medical side with dentistry. Is that correct? So, you know, I tell you, she's just going to make a big difference. And I can honestly put money down that I bet you anything she's going to keep coming back and she's going to keep helping other people. Because that's what she's already defined within herself. So on behalf of all of us, we can take a quick photo. We would like to present to you the first annual Youth Award. Is that good? Okay, we're going to do something different. I forgot one thing. Okay, Mom, come on up. Come on up. Garcia family, get ready. I'm going to call you back up. Don't put the award away. We'll take a family photo. Okay, here we go. Okay, we look at that one and then we're going to look over here. Look over there first. Okay, now let's look over here. Awesome. Okay, any words you want to share?
I just want to thank Ms. Cameron for nominating me for her award, and as well as this age.
Awesome, awesome. Keep making a difference.
Thank you.
Okay? I know. Nora was giving me the eye. I'm like, hey, hey.
I got the family.
It's good. There we go. Quick photo. Here we go. But look over there first. We'll do that one first.
Tell you what, we got this tall guy down here.
Good? Okay, let's do it this way.
Yeah,
Okay, there we go. One more. Okay, over in the net. There we go. Let's look in the middle over there. Awesome. All
You're
right,
blocking
there we
me,
go.
Monio.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you for the adjustment. All right, here we go. Denise, come on up. Okay, so now we have the Annual Citizenship Award, the adult. And this, without a doubt, that's her. She's all over the place. Right, David?
Yep.
She's all over the place. I mean, she's definitely making a difference. You heard me a little while ago mention about the Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. You know, she's always helped out. Even with when the alignment went over to the vine, she continued to take care of our kids here. She's been heavily involved with our cleanup, you know, our beautification committee, taking care of that. She's been heavily involved with our sports, a lot of high school sports, and helping our folks out with that, parents, kids. So no matter where you go, she's there. But she's always making sure that we're taken care of. Every time I see her and we're doing some sort of event, the first words out of her mouth is, how can I help? That's who she is. And she's always helping. So without a doubt, this is a true honor on behalf of the whole council for us to go ahead and present this and on behalf of the committee. So council, will you please join us. You'll say a few words here first. Okay, now we go okay. Awesome. Cool. Great.
Thank you. Thank you to the committee and accepting my nomination. I got my hand, I guess. But as you said, there were so many community members today. So it's an honor to be one of the first chosen. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Keep doing a great thing. Thank you. All right. I don't know about this one. I think about this one here. That's a little bit extra that goes along. Betty, come on up, Betty. Come on up. There you go. Well, this one even has a little bit more special too. Every one of them was special, but this one has a little bit more just because of Betty and because of Bernie. So, you know, Betty has just been a true asset for this community. She's taken the time to reach out and look at everything across the board and be able to help out. But she found her niche in 2008, and that's when she said, I need to be able to help and make a difference in our community with taking care of our dogs and our cats and everything else in between, right? And everything else in between. I even seen Santi with a snake one time, right? So a little bit of everything. But she decided to go ahead and help out, and I think the council, if I understand correctly, the council, Sam, actually brought her on board to try to help out and provide some mentorship and being able to put a grand facility that would be able to help us out in this community. So that happened in 2010. Well, she did such a good job that in 2013 to 18, they actually made her the director and jumped right into it and started making a difference. Within a year of being the director, she started two critical parts of our animal care control. And the first one was establishing a Bellis pantry and being able to provide nutrition to our families that needed help to be able to take care of their pets. So their Bellis pantry started. And now here we are years later, and her program has actually served 121,000 pets during that time period. Just unbelievable. The second thing that she had, and she said, I'm going to continue to make a difference, is to help from too many pets. So she jumped right on it and did a spay and neuter program and found donations, found different ways of being able to do this. She had a close relationship with Pam Harris that decided to go ahead and jump on board along with some other grants and programs. And from the time that she started that to now, she's actually taken care of 2,000 spay and neuters. So huge numbers and making an impact on being able to do that. But she wasn't done. The next challenge that she had was to be able to reach out and find homes for all these pets. And she did a great job with working with all these different organizations. She sent folks, I love the photos. Sam, you remember the photos from Canada?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we were getting photos from everywhere where the pets were actually being sent, or dogs were being sent, and they were sending them. So we set them up and we put them in the right place, in the right families, and you did a great job with that. And you continue to make a great job with that. In between there, she decided that she needed to go ahead and form a nonprofit. And she came up with Animal Animals as a way to be able to help with finding the food, as a way to help with the spay and neutering, and as a way to help with finding the adoption. And she did that extraordinary, where right now it's actually working and doing what it needs to do. I know Ernie is very proud of you and everything that you've done.
I don't know if you'd be proud of me, you had 14 dogs.
But I know that he's very happy for everything you've done. And, you know, Ernie left his mark. He left his mark out there, and what the most appropriate place. Because if there was any place where you guys put your heart and soul, it's in that facility. And we remember everything that you've done. So it gives us great pleasure on behalf of the committee and the council to present this annual citizenship award, lifetime. Well, you're old. Over 2023. And this is small. It's saying making a difference for others. I think he's making lots and lots and lots of difference for others. So let's take some photos. Council, can you join me? Yep. And let's look over here. Awesome. Thank you. Okay.
Mayor, may I ask, can you get a photo of the council and all the award winners?
Yes, we're gonna do that, but let me bring, we got brother, come on up. Who wants to join Betty for a quick photo? Come on up. There you go. Come on up. Hey, notice he said older. He didn't say my sister. He said older sister. Here we go. Let's take a quick photo. Here we go. You're gonna look over there first?
Get everybody together. Shot,
All right, and over here. Okay, few words?
I think I have a few words, you know me.
Yeah, I have a couple.
It's real short, y'all.
Hey,
Hey, I'm 70, I'm old, I can say whatever I want to say. Really, it's very, very short. As my loving older brother told me, I don't think you get that unless you're really old. So thanks for that. But without the unwavering dedication and drive of Ward Sanders and our late Regal Farmer, the facility would never happen. As councilman, Ward and Regal pushed for an animal care and control facility. And Ernie and I were sitting right here in 2008 when the council approved moving forward. And little did I know what an impact that would have on my life. But as we all know, whatever I accomplished, I did not do it alone. In my life, I've had the best support team, and I've been able to live my passion. And it has been quite a ride. My husband Ernie supported and worked beside me from the time the animal facility became reality.
and I could not have done anything without his support and his support at home. He kept the home fires burning while I was out chasing down dogs and snakes and whatever, right? So I love this security. I have the best people around me in the facility. Bill Dixon, Santiago Morantes, Rachel Page, Lorena Gorham, Melinda Flores, and all volunteers worked so hard to better my families. When Lytle Animal Allies started, it was all Miriam Garcia and Phyllis Parra and Catherine Jones, and they had the vision to get a nonprofit going, and it was done more than we could ever imagine. Our greatest achievements have been Bella's Pantry and our spay neuter clinics with Dr. Richard. I'm so proud of both these efforts, but it would not be possible without the continuing support of Ms. Pam Harris in Houston, who supports us monthly, and the many people who donate to us. Since June of 2022, 713 dogs and cats have been spayed and neutered. That's quite a few. Special thanks to Dr. Liz Lowe, who lives right outside of Lytle and generously gives her time and knowledge to the animals and staff. We're small, but we're mighty. Ward Sanders, Lorena Gorham, and I do a lot with a little. We have a wonderful relationship with Corey Mitchell in Castroville, and it truly takes a village. Thank you to my family for your support. I hope you know how much I love you and appreciate all you have done to support my passion. To my church family here, thank you for keeping me secure in my faith and purpose. Thank you to the city of Lytle for supporting our efforts, and mainly I want to thank the citizens and the surrounding communities who have given their money and their time to help our animals. Thank you for your trust and belief in our efforts to make a better life for our animals and our citizens.
Okay, stay right here. We're gonna get the award winners. Come on back one more time. We're gonna get all four of you. Divine News wants to get all four of us. Everybody in here, so we have to go. Get in. There we go. And we'll take a picture right over there. Everybody look over there.
Okay. We need taller council.
All right, now we're gonna look over here. All right, congrats. All right. So everybody's welcome to hang around and listen to the rest of the meeting. Or if you can leave and go celebrate. You know, everybody says you want something, where are you going? And usually you say Disneyland, right? But let's see, Betty, where are you going? There you go. There we go. You know where they're going to go celebrate. It works out good.
Congratulations.
All right. Everybody did it. Thank you for all your work.
Yeah, good job, Michael.
Yeah. Were you on the road? Yeah. I couldn't see the people very well.
Sammy, why do you think you're going, Sammy? Sammy. Where do you think you're going? I said, where do you think you're going?
Say, hey, they were.
Thank you. All right.
Let's see again.
Okay, council. I know I do apologize. I know it took a little bit of time, but I think it's appropriate. We do this once a year. This is a great time for us to go ahead. So thank you for the extra time to be able to take care of them and their families too and friends. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to B, consider and act upon the request from Streetlights at 180 McCoy Lane. Here we go, Matt.
Council, this was tabled at the last meeting because we needed additional details on the cost. Since there's already a pole there, there's no cost for the installation. The only thing that has to be covered is the monthly electrical expense. And for a 100-watt LED overhead floodlight, that is $15.35 per month. So if you approve, we can work on having that installed and having it built back to the city.
Mayor, I move that we approve the request for streetlights at 180 McCoy Lane.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I got a second. Okay, any further discussion?
Does the city normally absorb all the costs?
Yes.
for the lighting?
On that one, yes. We're still working on the new streetlight policy.
Okay,
It's still with legal. It's going to be a revamp of our code.
sounds good.
Do we need on the motion that the city pays the monthly bill or no?
No, it automatically gets thrown, it gets added to your existing
Okay,
account.
good.
Yeah, is that-
My motion stands.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that, council. Let's go ahead and move on to C. Consider and act upon the request from Southwest ISD to hold a joint election on May the 4th, 2024 with the city of Lytle.
So council, this is what we do every election cycle with them. As you know, a school district can't hold their own. They have to team up with another entity, and this is an ongoing effort, and they've requested to team up with us again this year, or 2024, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I move that we hold a joint election on May 4th, 2024 with Southwest ISD.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all yeas. Thank you. Appreciate that, council. Let's go ahead and go on to D. Consider and act upon the adoption of City Ordinance 23-15, adopting a tax abatement policy of guidelines and criteria for governing tax abatement incentives persistent to the Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code within the city limits of Lytle and its extraterritorial jurisdiction.
So council, this is the one that we worked on a while back. Worked through all of our drafts. It went through legal. What you have before you is the final draft from legal for approval.
Okay. Thank you, Jesse, for all the work on that one based on our last meeting. So appreciate the adjustments.
Mayor, I'd move that we adopt city ordinance number 23-15, adopting a tax abatement policy of guidelines and criteria for governing tax abatement incentives pursuant to Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code within the city limits of Lytle and its extraterritorial jurisdiction as presented to the council tonight.
Okay, got a motion on the floor?
I'll second.
Got a second? Okay, further discussion?
So what exactly are we abating?
Property tax.
Well, I mean, real property, personal property, all the above.
How's it written, Jesse, in it? Is it all the above or?
It can be either one, or both. The city is allowed under the tax code to abate either one. You can enter into agreement, it just establishes the criteria for certain types of projects that qualify. And the city would then have the discretion to enter into those agreements if it would want to do so.
So I see the table on here, I guess that's in section 4. The maximum abatement that is allowed, the council doesn't necessarily have to grant any abatement then, huh?
No, it does not. These are guidelines, and they're primarily intended to assist the city when a company wants to apply for a tax abatement, they get a sense of what the city's guidelines and what they're inclined to then authorize. But there's some certain discretion. They're not, certainly it's not an entitlement program, so if they satisfy the criteria, the city can still elect to deny the request if they don't do any tax abatement. So it is always discretionary for the council to do so, or not.
And Jesse, one more question. In your experience dealing with these tax abatement policies in other municipalities, what is, I guess, the cost benefit as far as what a city sees? All right, we abate 50% of property tax, but as far as additional sales tax revenue that comes in, do we see an offset? Do we have a net gain?
Typically so. That's usually one basis for a city deciding to go whether or not to enter into the tax abatement in the first place. They're not permanent. They're by law, they can be no more than 10 years. And usually the improvements are taxed for an extended period of time, well beyond that. So they will more than make up the abated taxes for the 3-5 typical time frame that they would abate the taxes. And even over that 3 to 5 year period, it's usually not 100%. You still continue to get the base of the pre-improvement taxes. So that's your base value that remains taxed throughout the entire period as well. So the city does,
in the long run usually benefit. But again, that usually goes into the council's decision as to whether it makes sense to proceed and grant a tax abatement or not. It obviously has to make sense for the call to do so.
And just to reiterate, it's the council's decision, right? It's not an automatic thing.
Oh, no. No. The business would still need to apply for the tax abatement, and then there'd be just a process for the city to actually enter into a tax abatement agreement. And if they default on it, the city can seek to recover the taxes for non-compliance with the agreement. So the city's fairly well protected. And this particular form of the policy is pretty typical for cities in this area that have a policy like this.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all yeas on that. Thank you. Appreciate that, council. Thanks again, Jesse, for that. Appreciate it. Good guidelines. Good guidelines to be able to take a look at. All right, let's go ahead and move on to E, consider and act upon the revision to City of Lytle rules of procedures governing city council meetings. So on that one, we actually sent out, it was included in your packet. It's the quick annotation on there that if somebody's going to go ahead and add an actual agenda item, that they go ahead and include the information that is going to be presented. That gives our legal the opportunity to go ahead and review, and gives the council the opportunity to go ahead and review. So the intent is for us to go ahead and include that. If you have any material, be included in there. If there is a last minute thing, a one pager, just like Lynette did, quick little thing, hey, totally understand that. But if you actually have literature, you have stuff that you want to be presented as part of your points, go ahead and turn it in so we can go ahead and give everybody the opportunity to review before the council meeting.
Well, Mayor, just for example, we got the packet Friday and I read it over, and there was some information missing on 7F. What I handed out tonight when I came in, some history on that land. What about adding something like that of that nature? Are people still going to be able to come up tonight and hand out documentation to the council for their education?
I think it's important to review it. So if you see it on the agenda, be able to get it to our city administrator so we can actually send it the earlier the better. The ones, especially if you're presenting the agenda item, those are the ones be able to include the information to be able to include on there.
So it's just for submittals. It's not for addendums to items.
Correct. But if you already have something, I think as a courtesy, if you read it on Friday and you think it's something important, send it out. Send it to the city administrator so we can go ahead and get it out to the council. I think it would be good. And to legal also.
It's fairly typical. Usually, a lot of our cities often will have, in addition to the agenda item cutoff, they request all supporting documentation. So that's certainly whenever we're asked to prepare something for the council, that should say they happens to us. I'm sure the staff, or that usually there's a time that they need it by in order to get it in the packet, and we try our best to do that. Occasionally there are a few items which we have to, they don't make it in, but generally that's very typical for to apply for a council member item. So that's very standard.
Can the council approve additional information at the time it's received? Like if it's brought in the day of the meeting?
No, it's usually when if a council member or just like the city administrator or anybody else has an agenda item, usually they want to not only provide the caption item, but also the supporting documentation they would want to put in the packet. Especially if it's the nature of a resolution, ordinance, or a particular document that they want the council to review before the actual meeting. But sometimes they need to bring something, like there's some supplemental information that they can bring it, of course, in the meeting and hand that out. That's all I think this is what you're referring to.
Yeah, and the way it's on the actual guidance is this. So if you're going to submit an agenda item and you got supporting documents, it's critical that you submit that. Have it in there. So it already goes out in the packet. So
I just don't want to see any kind of restriction on being able to bring additional information. I understand that if it's your item, you should already know what it is you're going to present. You should have an idea what it is you want to tell the council. All that information should be and needs to be available. But I just don't want to make sure we don't limit it to not being able to come in, like you said, the day of the meeting, with supplementals.
Yeah.
So does that need to be worded differently, or is that part of the
I think
flavor of the?
the flavor of the policy is if you're submitting an agenda item to be able to include on there. But like I said, as a courtesy, if you have something you realize on Friday, and it's probably good for the council to go ahead and review it, get it to the city administrator so we can go ahead and send it out. So.
If you want, Mayor, we can certainly come up with the revised language and have the council vote on that, or do you want to approve it tonight? I'm not sure what your thinking is.
My thinking is right now it's just with the agenda items. If you're going to put an agenda item and you're going to go ahead and provide that all the supporting documents are provided at that point.
That's what it shows in there.
Yeah, and that's what we
Addition
put on
made
there.
here, yeah.
So we can still bring stuff though, if it's not our item.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it says any, so it doesn't say all. So, Mayor, I want to make a motion to approve the revision to the City of Lidle rules and procedures governing city council meetings as presented.
And that's in the sense of including the supporting documents by the date that.
Yeah, I think it's because it doesn't have the all in there, and with the understanding, I think it stands for itself.
Good. Got a motion on the floor?
I'll second that.
Got a second? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you all. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to F, considering and act upon how to proceed with 0.67 acres of land out of the J Matter Survey number 442, abstract number 573, Atascosa County, Texas, property ID number 57704, 14,400 block Railroad Street, in which the city of Lytle is the trustee. Matt?
So, council, we were approached by the delinquent tax attorney on this piece of property at the city of Lytle, and Lytle ISD are owed back taxes on. It was sold, or they attempted to sell it at a tax foreclosure sale. There were no bids on it, so therefore the county put it in the city of Lytle's trustee. So they just want direction on what to do with that piece of property. It sits in the floodplain or floodway. You can't construct or do anything with it. So their options that they came up with was we could approach the area residents around it, see if they were interested in buying it, approach the previous owners, see if they were interested in buying it, or put it back out for another tax sale. But they're needing direction on how to proceed with this piece of property in the city's mind, what they want to do with it.
Okay.
Is there an expense to the city on a tax sale?
No, we'll actually, if it sells, we will get our money on the back taxes.
Is there an expense to the city if we hold it?
I don't think we've had one now. If we keep it as is and don't do anything with it, we've never paid anything before on it, so no. It just kind of lays out there in limbo for the delinquent tax attorney to keep track of.
It seems to me that the only interested party would be those around it. Those that have property, adjacent to it or surrounding it. And that was one of your options.
That was one of the options the delinquent tax attorney gave us, yes.
Got a question for Zach. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have your floodplain manager certificate, right?
Correct.
What can be built in a regulatory floodway?
Pretty much nothing. There's a lot of studying that would have to be done to remove it from a floodway. And with this small of a piece of property, the likelihood is anything you put there, fill even, would potentially be in violation of, rising the floodplain and the floodway by a foot, which is the restriction. So you're virtually restricted to doing nothing.
What are the consequences for the city if someone were to build something in there and not to have everything cleared?
Obviously we're required to ensure that the floodplain and the floodway is protected. So, specifically, I don't know, but FEMA would have issues with if we allowed anything to be built there. So,
Is there any risk to us losing our flood insurance?
Yes, you, as required, cities are required to comply with all FEMA and state and federal laws, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, we look at a map. I mean, I handed out this packet to everybody tonight. On that second page, you can see all along Railroad Street on the backside of those properties. That's the regulatory floodway. I guess that's the north prong of the Atascosa River. And this piece of property that we're talking about, property ID 57704, behind Cabinet Creations is, in my opinion, it's a critical part in getting that water south and out of the city. So, in my opinion, the only thing that that the city can do with it, I know Matt's item said that there's no usable properties, aspects of this for the city, and I disagree. I think that it's a component of our floodplain management, our stormwater drainage. So I would like to make a motion, and I would move that we direct the city's delinquent tax attorney to go before the Atascosa County Commissioners Court and the Lidle ISD School Board on our behalf to ask them to convey their interest in property ID number 57704 to the city of Lidle for the sum of $1 each, so that the city may incorporate this property into the city's flood management program. There you go, Renee. You don't have to write that down.
So that would fit ownership back to the city.
That's correct. And at a future date, once we get our stormwater drainage set up, we have a piece of property, rather than having to go back and acquire this property, repurchase it from someone or acquire it via eminent domain to use it. Because there's nothing that can be built in there.
Is there any time limits on that, Jesse?
Time limit says to,
In the motion that's made, is it is it ownership do we have to have ownership for a certain amount of time, or is it?
no,
So let me do this. We got a motion on the floor. Can I get a second so that we can?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so I got a second. So let's go ahead and go into discussion now and try to do this.
So what I'm asking is, if the motion that was made, is there any kind of limitations or time factors?
with regard to the other tax entities.
Well, just, do we have to hold it for a certain amount of time, or, I mean, that's all I'm asking. There's no time limits.
No, and in fact, that would resolve the kind of the quasi co-ownership when you have multiple taxing entities that have
Right.
to pay taxes. They have some residual interest in the property. So this would certainly clear the way. And so if, as Alderman Kate is proposing, if the city wanted to make drainage improvements or flood and control related improvements on that property, it would be helpful to do that, make it more eligible to be able to receive state and federal grant monies and the like to move forward with that. It would
Okay.
certainly clear the waters.
Thank you.
So the other consideration too, and just also for clarification, we not only internally look at this, but just a reminder that our designated folks for the flood management advisors is our TRC, is our engineers. The council had actually requested, and we made our TRC our folks to go ahead and oversee this. So my recommendation would also to be able to just bounce it off of them and ask, hey, is this something that we can actually look at? So I just want to say out there, I mean, do we have a deadline of when we need to submit this? Okay, so I'm just putting it out there. You guys have the motions, but I would just say maybe it might be good to table this and ask our engineers to just take a look at it and see if there's anything, what their recommendations are, since they're our designee out there. But I'm just throwing it out there as part of the discussion.
Would accepting the motion and voting on it and
We're gonna have
approving
to
it,
vote.
would that interfere with that?
I mean, yes, I think the motion right now is for us to go ahead and move out to go ahead and purchase, go ahead and obtain the property and then become part of us. I think that's a motion that we actually have in front of us. So we'll put it out for a vote because that's the motion. But I just want to put it out for discussion. But it's still open for discussion if there's any other points anybody else wants to bring up.
I agree, we ought to have them in there and look at it. Seems like a good idea.
I mean, there's nothing prohibiting them from looking at it. We're talking about what to do with it, and we're incurring additional cost. We're going to take it back to the sale. There's no use for that property. TRC is going to come back and say it's in the regulatory floodway. So, I mean, we can still acquire the property, start that chain. There's going to have to be deeds drawn up conveying the interest to the city of Lytle. It's going to take time. The school board is not going to meet again. I think they meet next week. The earliest that we're going to be able to, the representatives from Linebarger, be able to take this before the school board or the county commissioners is months down the line. So us acquiring this property is going to have no impact. It's not going to change anything other than who owns it on paper. It's still going to be in the floodway at the end of the day.
And I believe if they're not, could you amend the motion to include a request to TRC to investigate the use of the property for flood control? So that would be concurrent with your motion?
I will amend my motion to have TRC concurrently look at prospective uses of the property in question for public use.
Okay.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yep. Okay, because it's got to come from somebody else. Okay. And-
I'll second that.
Okay. You amend your motion. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to G, update and discuss recent Texas Commission on Environmental Quality complaint inspection regarding city water wells. Matt?
I'll bring our interim public works director up too. So on the 28th of November, we had an unannounced visit from an investigator with CCEQ, and he informed us that they had received a complaint from an anonymous citizen regarding our water wells here in the city of Lytle, and he was here to investigate that. He asked to be driven to each one of our water well sites and ask for documentation on that. All of that was done. We're preparing the other documents he wants and sending him the data, and he will have a report back to us on this. And
By the end of the month.
Yeah. So that's really our update on that issue right there.
Okay. So council, on this one in particular, a little bit concerned on this. First of all, if you read the complaint on there and you see on there, it's very detailed, talks about certain things on there that actually, while there was walking down that hallway, there was 3 people along with Matt that this was mentioned. And it was because we were getting done with the final inspection, and we were trying to obtain parts during that time. If you notice the date that it was filed, it was on 10/26. That was 4 days after we had a council meeting, and that discussion was brought up because somebody asked, how are we doing? It wasn't until the following meeting that we put it on the agenda item because we were finalizing the investigation, and of course with Robbie trying to figure out what we needed to do because we were trying to rule out what was going on. These details were discussed somewhere in here. And these details ended up inside a piece of paper. Somebody in this room actually conveyed that information and sent it out. I don't have a problem with actually a complaint being filed. The problem I have with this is a discredit to our city employees. Our city employees were working it hard, trying to figure out what needed to do. This is a well that got neglected, and none of us knew until this investigation was done that nobody had done any maintenance or anything. This complaint also is trying to discredit the council and what we've been trying to do. Not going to point fingers. I'm not going to do anything, but I'm just letting you know, I'm very concerned because this was filed after 3 people were talking to Matt about something in there, and then this ended up being filed without giving a chance to our city employees to do what they needed to do. And that's a discredit to what they were actually working on and trying to take care of. And that's a foul. So council, the reason we have it on here is for you to be informed. We are going to go ahead and go through the motions. We have the inspector. They're going to be checking in and out. They've been checking with Robbie to find out what's going on. Robbie has been doing a great job, and I think we got some results or something where we need to go ahead and.
We got the results back for well 2. We submitted them to the well engineer. We have a meeting Thursday with them. We'll find out what we're going to be able to do with the well.
Yeah. So we're pretty much on there. The early indication pretty much is being able to flush it out, which is what?
Yeah, well, they want 24 hours consecutive. So.
Yeah, which is what our employees have been doing. Okay? So they've been doing it. They know the system. They know what needs to be done. They've been trying really hard. We're getting a second opinion, and it looks like we'll meet on Thursday, and we'll provide you an update on the next meeting. If it's something completely deviated from that, we will send an email out, and we'll inform everybody to make sure that everybody is aware that, hey, we got a major challenge that we have. But honestly, right now, our city employees are doing the best that they can to make sure that we get it. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. It was one individual that put us in a very awkward position, and now we're trying to get everything back up and running the way it's supposed to have been operating since the time that we brought the new well up. Okay? So all this is this is not an action. This is just an update, so you guys are aware that there was an anonymous complaint that was actually filed. Okay? All right.
Robbie, what do the results on that well say?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was 37 pages long, and you probably need an engineering degree to read it. That's why we sent it to the well expert, like we told council we were going to do, and look for their direction. Their direction right now is a specific process on how to flush that well. But I will tell you, we're not going to be able to do that this month. We're at the end of this month, and we're really close to our authorized pumpage limit, so it's going to wait until the new year. We're going to meet with them Thursday, go over everything again with them, make sure we understand their directions, and January 1, we'll start that process with that well.
And who is the well expert?
It is a well engineer with TRC.
Yep.
What does Edwards have to say about this?
I don't know, we haven't talked to the Edwards. We've been working with TRC, the well engineer.
We haven't talked to Edwards at all about this problem.
No, sir. We're working with our engineer.
TCEQ.
Yeah, TCEQ. I mean, that's.
So.
But we are pumping Edwards water out of there.
Yes, sir.
We haven't contacted them.
No, sir, we have not.
Once again, I think we're working with our engineers and we're working with TCEQ and be able to take care of that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 8, department reports. The first one that we have is Animal Control Director's Report. Thank you, Robbie. Appreciate everything you're doing.
Yeah, just scroll down. I think. All right, for the month of November, we had 95 calls for service. Set up 2 traps. We had 1 dog bite. Ended up quarantining those dogs that were owned. They are now since back with the owners. Had 77 miscellaneous calls and 1 animal surrender, which was a cat. Returned 1 dog to the owner. That was the bite case. Transferred 16 animals out and took 8 adoptions. And right now we're at 30 dogs. We had 2 adoptions and 10 cats right now. We had 1 dog go to the Humane Society, 6 cats at Texas Humane Heroes, and 6 dogs to Humane Society again, and 3 dogs to SNPSA. And And so far, count 70 adopted so far, and then 145 transferred to rescues. 6 volunteers for 27 hours. And for Bella's Pantry, had 80 pet owners come, most of them from Lytle, one from San Antonio, and one from Von Army, and 2 from La Costa on the bottom. We have our next year, we have our indoor spring yard sale, which I'm scheduled for March 9th, and an adoption event. I haven't set a date yet, but hopefully we'll try to make one in January, if not, sometime closer to our indoor spring yard sale. And that's it so far.
Well, Santi, thank you for bringing it down. We're down in the lower 30s, so we're moving where we need to.
Yeah, we had this past Saturday when the hayride was going. We're at a bakery pub, and one dog got adopted.
Got adopted?
Yeah. So I don't know if they were drunk and no, but they spent time with the dog and they loved her. So
No.
it was good.
Well, we're still working on the other transports, right?
Yes.
Okay. And those are the big ones. Those are the ones that can get us to the 20s, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. That'll be good. Council, anything? Thank you, Santi. Appreciate it. All right, Cassandra, library.
All right, we had 78 computer users for the month of November and 88 for kids. A little low, but we were slow with patrons using the computers, but more with people checking out. We had 1,576 checkouts. We had 52 new, well, it was more like 2 new users for the Simply eStats and 45 loans. Only 1 new account, 19 new renewals, and April, May 18 library cards. And we're still doing story time. We haven't had the big number like we did the last time with the 19 kids, but it's growing, so we're getting new people. And we still need 2 more areas to finish off that. What we thought was going to take a year has taken almost 4 years to do, but we're almost there. And still offering the curbside. And there's a calendar for the month of November. And I just have to thank Santi for coming out and painting the lines at the library, the parking lot, because we've been needing it for so long. People keep parking crooked. And I'm like, oh my God, you're going to hit that car, so thank you, Santi. That's about it. Oh, and then we did have a internet, computer, and phone outage the week of Thanksgiving because I guess something, they hit the lines. And so I got on the phone with Frontera, and they had to get on the phone with AT&T, and it was back and forth. So it was out Tuesday through part of Wednesday, so a little over 24 hours. So we had to get the big chief tablet out and write everything
They're the
down.
old school way.
Exactly, old school, write everything down so we were able to, luckily most of we know where the books are on the shelf, so like, oh, what book do you need? Okay, we can go get that. So, but those are the pictures from the month display. So that first one is diabetes, the top one was the Veterans Day, and then that one is about aviation history, and then the Native American history, and then Thanksgiving, and then the bottom one was our balloon garden. It was for a story time we did that, and so the kids went home with a clear balloon that had confetti in it.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Council?
Any questions?
Good job.
All right. Thank you, Cassandra. Appreciate that. All right, Robbie. Public Works, come on up.
All right, we didn't really install new meters or new services. We had 2 main breaks. One of them was pretty bad. We thought it was an 18-inch main, but ended up being an 8-inch. So we were good on that one.
Mm-hmm.
We replaced 17 meters with the new radio reads. We actually did replace several ankle studs that went on the display. We replaced 1 service line and 17 rereads. Customer requested 7 of those. We had 2 sewer main stoppages. One of them, Was
got an
Thanksgiving week, we did not have a way to access it, no manhole, no clean out, so we ended up digging into the road, cutting a section out and running our cable through there just to get it unstopped.
Still the white piece?
Oh, yeah.
So get the word out. Let folks know.
Been
Yeah.
trying to, but everybody's enjoying them now.
I know.
We had 7 finals, 7 new. Had 10 people for the cutoff list. 2 only got reconnected and puts in miscellaneous work orders. We're still kind of high on the locates, so hopefully that locating company is almost completed. They don't have much left.
You normally don't have that many locates, right? Normally,
Normally no, but we had 132 this month.
yeah. So just imagine.
Calling about 30 to 40 a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're repeats, so
So they got pulled a lot and trying to figure out, and sometimes just looking the main lines to avoid as they were actually trenching or.
and then we're helping some of the contractors out by trying to locate our lines so we could cut down the incidents where they're hitting the mains. So we've been putting a lot of hours into the locates.
Yep. All right.
Okay, on the water usage and reductions.
There we go. So we're at 10 or 501. Is that where we're at right now?
Total water pump.
So,
We pumped 39 acre feet.
so, and that's on the thing, the 534.
So council notices the new authorized pumping went up to 796.024. That's with the new 11 acre feet. And with all the reductions, we got reduced down to 534 acre feet. So it's going to be a very tight month for us on our pumping.
Yep.
We don't want to flow any.
And this is based on the staging, and also council, this is based on lots of water that was leaked and water that we've been pumping out of the well too on there. So out of the norm in a sense of the things that we've been doing. So
And this might be the first time I think we've ever been in a full year of restriction. You notice there are 334 days so far. We'll be in it for 365 this year.
Yep. So authorized and currently pumped. So we're right there. We good. The only thing that we have left is just knock on wood. We don't have anything else, but I think it's the night of the 17th, right, of December. So that's the one that we're going to be working on over here by between the post office and the church, right in there. So hopefully that works out. We can kind of get it right in there. Take care of business. All right. Robbie, anything that you need? No? We're good? Okay. Council, anything? Okay. Thanks, Robbie. So keep doing the great things, okay? Bless you.
Thank you.
All right. Richie.
Service calls, all that's kind of pretty normal. Nothing really sticks out. Vehicle collisions, alarms, relatively all low for as much traffic and as growth as we've got going on. Business checks, building checks, 253 citations. Again, what would be the high in there would begin to be the speeding still. Followed by license related and motor vehicle registration. This is a racial profile and stuff I do. And I'm going to put a new format together starting, I guess, with the January one, because I'm just kind of had this one for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Just our arrest, it's pretty much, you see, the only thing we did have an arrest on the deadly weapon where a guy kind of in a road rage discharged a firearm. That was kind of one of the bigger cases we had last month. Other than that, warrant services, assaults, warrant services, DWI, drug paraphernalia, basic stuff. No juvenile, no robbery, aggravated robbery. Still getting a lot of fraud stuff. I mean, both of those, you see those 2 convenience stores on there? Those were both where they call the clerks and imitated like corporate or employers and got the clerks to send money through, take money out of the register safe and go send money on Bitcoin. It's, it's.
What?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
but
like if I call here and tell you, hey, Lynette, I'm over here and I need you to, this is so-and-so, I need you to pay this bill for the city. Can you send them? But instead of telling you pay with a debit card, I tell you, could you get some money out of the till, go to the Bitcoin machine and so, well, man, I don't, somebody does. But anyway, so, and again, what we always try to tell people is the same thing, please, don't send money to people you don't know. And we pushed that, and we pushed it, and we just can't, we just still see these, and this is not just us, this is all over. You see these all over, you can catch these on news stories all over the place. I think Hollywood Park had some of the cities have had scams, like that. But burglary, again, nothing really too interesting there. Food pantry at the Methodist Church, they kind of pushed in the door and wrote some graffiti on there. Graffiti at the pavilion at the park. Thefts, Halloween decoration, had one of those. A little bit of shoplifting, but really not very much. And December has continued to be slow, which traditionally you're going to have more crimes during the holiday. Recover stolen vehicle. WI class, schools people went to. We still did a lot of escorts for the school. The big event was a homecoming parade.
Mhm.
It went off without a hitch. We didn't have any trouble. The weather was wonderful. That worked out great. Of course, we just do the traffic part of it, but it works out. That's what we look at. 6 cases filed with the county attorney's office, 3 with the district attorney's office. Nothing over in Medina, nothing in Bear. Overtime, let me see if we get the next page. Overtime was up quite a bit this month. Again, we'll still be within budget, but we had a guy out 2 full weeks sick. We had some people on vacation. Our civilian auxiliary lady came back. She put in 43 hours helping us in the office and helping at court one day. We get a lot of compliments with her because she doesn't let us sit around. She's like, I need to do this. And so when she calls in and says she's not going to be there, it's kind of a nice little break. Because she'll work you hard. Non-paid one. Fire marshal stuff. David had a bonfire at the school. I was out of town. I think no problem on that. Some food trucks. Of course, we went to school down there. 4 of us went down to Pasadena. A lot of training. One of the big issues, food trucks. Of course, obviously, we are going to need to work with legal and get a food truck. We've looked at some. I think a food truck ordinance. We're seeing a lot more, and we need to get some regulation on them and get that under
Jesse
control.
provided some.
So we need to start working on that. We talked to a lot of agencies down there that, of course, some of them are so different. Pasadena had their own way. Deer Park had theirs. We talked to a lot of different people. We had a really good time. Other than that, actually, we try to get in where I got a lot of people on vacation finishing out this schedule. It's the end of the year. So starting last year, we tried to get it where everybody's vacation fell, where they had the right amount left, and we didn't have to buy any out. And we're going to be 100% in compliance with that. So we're just looking forward to New Year. Any question? Now, again, new council members, new city administrator, the stuff on my report is just stuff I've come up with. If you can think of something good for me to put on there, if y'all can think of something that interests you, I will put whatever I can come up with on there. I look around other reports and try to find things they've used. But if you think of something you think would be interesting, then feel free, and if I can do it, I'll put it on there.
Council? Good. All right. Right at 5 minutes. Awesome.
How many is it supposed to be?
5. You're right on there. You're right on there. Thanks, Richie. Okay, Council, we normally actually just do those, but since we actually have our second meeting is canceled, we're going to go ahead and add, the finance directors and the city administrators report, so we can go ahead and take care of them. That way we don't need to worry about catching up in January. So turn it over to Lynette.
Okay, for November, total utility billings was $139,720. We had 7 increases in water. We went to 1,552. 7 increases in sewer at 911, and of course, no gas, no new gas accounts at all. We have no water or tapping or impact fees for the month. So there was none to book. Donations and miscellaneous. Animal control had 42 different donations at $107.50. Library had 101 donations at $164.75. Total city donations at $272.25. I did forget one on here that I saw when I was closing the month. Richie got a $100 donation that I booked, but I can't remember who it was from.
Mr. Light, George Light.
That's right, George Light, yes. But I didn't put that one on. I'm not used to looking for that one. Fire department had 325 different entries for $986.25. City sales tax for November came in at $152,027, higher from last month. I'm starting to see, I think, a little bit more of the truck stop, not truck stop, but stripes. Hotel tax, right about the same, $9,604. Last month was $9,335. Franchise tax, this is a partial. Of course, it came out at $67,136. Court fines, we had 188 transactions at $30,000, so $30,113. We had 58 new warrants filed, and we put 546 cases into collections. Ashley worked extremely hard at that, getting that put in there. That had not been updated in almost a year. So the cost came out to a little over $105,000 worth of collection. Internal, we're getting Brianna ready to start taking for her court clerk classes. We're looking into the next year. The new online court payment system is still at a halt right now. I'll let Matt update y'all on that in a little bit, but we all three had a conversation with Frontier today, and we have a forward plan for that. Court clerk, they're reorganizing and working with Austin, who is our prosecutor. He's given us a retention schedule, and we are going to start cleaning house and getting rid of a lot of old files.
Good.
And then that's what I was talking about. Ashley uploaded all the past dues, got those over to Purdue, so hopefully we will start seeing some of those taken care of with all the open cases. Utility billings went extremely smoothly. Eliza has taken over the radio reads by herself. She's having no problem whatsoever now. She didn't need me at all last month. Credit cards and Frontera got with me. We made a bunch of, it was kind of pick and choose. We got in there on the phone with them, and I changed stuff, and we just kept going back and forth until we made it work. And I really can't tell you what we did, but it works now, and it's not locking up. We had one new radio read installed this month, and we had a bunch of swaps, which Robbie told you about. So, and we didn't have many incorrect. We had one that was wrong on the radio read, but Robbie, I think, switched that out for me. Audit is still, I'm still trying to prep and get ready for the rest of everything that she needs. I hope to give you a better update on that soon. Yearly workforce audit, she got back with me today. She needs a little bit more information on some changes that we had from last year. And the TML workers' comp is complete, and I haven't heard from them yet on anything. And that is it.
Council, any questions?
Any questions?
All right. Thank you, Lynette. Appreciate that. All right, Matt.
Okay, we'll zoom through this here pretty quick. There we go. No new changes there. We will have a meeting on the sidewalk construction project this week with the construction official start date being the 16th, I was informed. So it's going to move fairly fast, but the school and I will be in on that to start that process there. Still working on all those, not a lot of big movements, but there's your dates on the potential TCEQ. Saddle Ridge Phase 6 had one new home come in since last month. We're still working on the service plan for the annexation area out there in Saddle Ridge on Phase 3. Rosewood Estates, they didn't have any new ones as of that one, but I can tell you they drew 16 new permits this month. So they're moving along pretty quick out there. A lot of farms still working through the utility service agreement. I think we got the last LUE numbers finally, so now we can work on the numbers.
They got 3 different houses already. You can go out there.
Yes, if you haven't been out there, they've got houses under construction that are pretty
Yeah.
close to
They got
completion.
roofs and everything.
They're not connected to utilities. We
No,
still
no,
have
no.
to officially adopt all that, accept it all, but the houses are there to the point where they're ready to start connecting. You're gonna see the open projects. I talked to Robbie. We're gonna move a lot of these over to the Public Works report since he's comfortable with reporting on those. So they'll move forward on that. City contracts, we're going there. AT&T, we updated that. We had a meeting with AT&T. We thought it was in November of 23. It's actually February of 24 that it expires. So we got a couple more months, but we are working hot and heavy on updating everything. And I truly believe we're going to reduce our phone and internet costs drastically by going to another provider and still having the same level of service. And our interconnectivity would be even better. City yard maintenance, we were gonna potentially award that tonight, but it's gonna be pushed to the next one. We need to work with legal on that. There's some hiccups there. Just the different meetings I attended throughout the month. Code compliance, we didn't do anything on it that last month. I can't tell you the new code compliance officer started on the 5th and is out and about. He's not real hot and heavy out in the field just yet. He's still in the office, getting a lot of learning, catching up on stuff. We're gonna use him over the next week, making contact with a lot of the residents where the sidewalk projects are going, getting the rights of entry for the engineering firm for the driveways. But we hope to start getting some reports on him. I went out with him one day. We made some contacts. No movement on the parks. I worked with the parks guy and explained to him he's got his punch list right here and he can just start knocking those out. He doesn't need permission from anybody to start taking care of those things there. Public Works Division, we still have the one open position. We had a candidate. We were gonna call him to a conditional job offer. But he never called us back. So it is still open. We have not re-advertised it yet, being the holiday season. I figured we would wait until after the first of the year and let our new city administrator advertise for it and go through the interview process there. I want to say it's been a pleasure working here as a city administrator for the last year and a half. Through the good and the bad, we may not have always agreed on everything, but I hope that you were happy with what I gave you, and I hope I left it in a better way than I found it. I can tell you, working with Zach for just a day, we're in a good place moving forward. He has the skill set we need, and my skill set will better service in the police department. So if there's anything I can do for you as a captain of the police department, please call me. I won't have my the city number that y'all were using. I'll disconnect it in probably a month. So call me on that personal cell number. If you don't have it, I will email you. Email my give it to you. So,
Be good.
any questions?
Did you have the update on the servers?
Oh, the server. I'm sorry. Yes. So the server issue. We met with John, the owner of Frontera. Everybody is finally in agreement. The server we purchased didn't meet the requirements for Tyler. Again, snafu. I'm just going to call it a misunderstanding between us and Frontera. Our stopgap was how do we get this one to work for us until the next budget year. They met with Tyler. They got all their marching orders on what they can purchase. So now they're giving us the final cost proposal. So we can now figure out financially.
Well,
how to cover
one
that.
of your options was to maintain the current server with the proprietary software and then use the new server for the overflow. Did you look more into that?
No, we can't use the new server. We have to move all of Tyler to the new server.
It has to.
It
You
has
cannot keep it
If
on
we
the
leave it on the
existing.
old server, we stay exactly where we are today, where we have hiccups during updates.
But if you're removing all the overflow traffic and putting it on the new server, I thought that was a viable option.
Yes, we're taking everything off the old server
Right.
and putting everything on the new server. And it's going to be our stopgap until the next budget year. We can budget to either buy a full out Tyler approved spec server or spend some more money and get us out of that hiccup and go cloud based and never have to worry about servers again. And then we just have our one here for the login credentials and running that.
The one that we have here is almost 10 years old, Michael. And I see what you're trying to say.
Yeah, removing if you remove
You're
the
right.
traffic from the existing server,
It's
it's still not gonna.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I wasn't aware of
It's a
that. Okay.
dinosaur.
Thank you.
All right. So, Matt, we just want to take the time and just say thank you. Very humble, public servant, just kind of keep
but he definitely makes a difference. In the last year and a half, we have done so many things that, you got some big shoes to fill, that we actually were able to take care of and get our city in a lot better position. And it's because of your dedicated work, your commitment, and your commitment from your family too. So please pass on behalf of all of us to your family, because you devoted a lot of time and effort to make sure that we got to where we're at right now. And it's a lot better place. I thought about what we could give him. He's got lots of plaques. He's got lots of awards and everything else that goes along with that. So it's like, what can we actually get him? So what I thought of, from the old days, you wear a vest and you got gear on and everything else. You always want to have something that you can write some notes on. So went ahead and got him a little writing pad. It has a pad on here, has a pen, and it says, Matthew Deere, City Administrator. There's a little momentum on behalf of all of us for everything that you've done.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. It's not one person. This is a team effort in this city, no matter what, and I just did what you paid me to do. Good, bad, or indifferent.
You did a great job. And there's still lunch or something there, so don't worry about it. We'll get together. We'll do that. All right. And I think,
Council, anything? No? We're good? Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to informational items. We're actually doing really good. Able to get this done. And then Richie's going to be happy because he's not going to be rushed eating the sandwiches. But let's go ahead and move on to, look, he's smiling. Informational items. Go around the room. Charles? Okay. Zach? Okay. Matt? Okay. Richie? All right. Cassandra back there. Santi? Anybody? Divine News? Nothing? Nothing? Roger that. Anything? Robbie?
You're probably going to bring it up, Mayor, but I'd like to personally mention how we did here at City Hall during the hayride. The band came, not the whole band, but a lot of the kids came out and volunteered and provided the music. The ladies at City Hall had heard that the kids suffered a little bit in previous years, and they didn't wait for any direction. They hopped all over it. They had cookies, they had candy bags, they had hot chocolate, they had hot water heaters, they had juice boxes, and they had water. And she trusted me to have access to the lobby. So the kids were in here stacked up and on the floors and whatever. And they said, please tell them thank you. And they really, really, really appreciated it. And something about brisket next year, but I'm not sure. That was a joke. Okay, but
yeah.
And Mr. Cheshire and Ms. Robles passed their very big thanks along to y'all too. So please pass it along to the ladies.
Now, we had a great, in a sense of their entertainment with a hayride, everything from here through some of the businesses. Alderman is out there at the Veteran Memorial Park and actually getting them all spirited up. And so thank you for being out there too. It was great catching them in different. And was it Benji or CJ? Who was out there over at your house with?
First round, Benji was there, but the baby was the baby Jesus both times. The second round, Benji already hit the sack. When he got up, and he was, Sunday morning we were at church. He went up to the window, he was pointing out there, and he was telling me about last night and waving a lot, and fire trucks and everything.
So live nativity set right there. So yeah. It worked out. It worked out really good. And I'll talk a little bit about that too here. Anything else? Okay. Okay. So some of the things to pass on. First of all, I want to say thanks to Public Works and Matt for all their hard work on getting through the boil notice. It's been very busy the last few weeks. You guys have done an outstanding job, and we don't go through them a lot. We don't. But I can tell you that this time that the efforts were so good. I had less phone calls, I had less messaging, everything all the way around. So knocked it out of the park, just letting folks, and the coordination with the school was outstanding. The coordination with the businesses was outstanding. HEB complimented us So definitely a good thing for all of us to be able to do that. So thank you for getting us through there. Many thanks to City Hall, to Lynette, Rosario, Ashley, Brianna, Virginia, Santa's Health. Thanks to Matt for getting all the trailers, Public Works for all the help, decorations, unloading, loading, with the water breaks and everything. Here's Public Works out there making sure everything is set up. Matt running around. The girls the same way too. It was a huge success. I mean, it really turned out really good. The number, I know I shared it with Richie, but I wanted to let you know we had 109 folks that we took care of that night. So even with the weather conditions and everything that we had, there was some people that told me they wish they would have been out there, but they thought it was going to be too windy and it was chilly. They had elderly people. They didn't want to go out there because it was cold, but it worked out. And doing it inside, Lynette, was spot on. So that worked out really good. Santa said that he'd never taken so many photos. It worked out really good for folks. The only thing that came up was people were asking, are you charging for the photos? And we're like, no, you just take your own photo. But they did a really good job. So thank you for all. Thanks to PD for keeping us safe on the route, and for fire department helping out. Richie, you guys did a great job. I think you got it down packed, and that worked out really good. Didn't have any incidents or anything to go with that. You already mentioned the band on there. Want to thank the National Honor Society, the drivers. Man, thank you for coordinating that and getting all those folks who volunteered. That worked out really good. We ended up getting everybody in 2 runs. In the last run, we were literally squeezing people, right? We're running around. He had the ladder, and we're literally going from trailer to trailer. We had up to 30 people, 20 to 30 people, somewhere in there, and literally loading them in the trailer so we could do one more round, and we got everybody so we would be able to take care of that. So that worked out really good. Family volunteers, everybody. I know there was a lot of families from our employees over there, so thank you for doing that. Special thanks to our residents and the businesses that participated. Some went really out to be able to highlight, and they did a great job. Richard, once again, thank you for doing that. That helped out. I want to thank Lido State Bank, working with Lynette. They actually took on the job of sponsoring the contest and the judging, so we should have that information that'll be going out. Both the businesses and the residential things are going on there. I want to thank City Hall employees for putting on a great Christmas holiday meal for us to get together and celebrate with. That worked out really good, and I think everybody had a blast. I think there's already some revenge on some of the games, right? That worked out really good. And that was Rosario, and who else came up with the games? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. That was great. And they worked out so well because the kids played first and then the adults. So, right? So that worked out really good.
I'm just surprised nobody banged their heads together on the pick up the ball.
I know.
I was just waiting on Major. It got pretty violent, yeah, but no smacked heads.
That was really good. I want to give a little bit of special thanks, Richie, another humble guy. Last week we had a family that was in need here in the city, and they needed to be able to get to their next place, and he took it upon himself to go ahead and get them some gas and be able to get them moving on. They had a long road. They were trying to get to Washington. Is that right, Richie? Yep. It's a long road, and they ended up here, and they were asking for help, and Richie took it upon himself to go ahead and help them out. So thank you for doing that.
I'm not the most generous guy. We get a lot of officers spend a lot of money out of pocket helping people, and it's what we do. But I don't really. Always I told you because you was on the phone with me when I was doing it. So otherwise I wouldn't tell you because I'm real,
Well,
myself quiet kind of guy.
I know, but still, you helped out people, and people need to notice those things. I want to say congratulations to St. Andrews for celebrating their 75th anniversary. Great ceremony. We had Archbishop Gustavo here, so put a lot into it, and it worked out really good, being able to highlight them. Great band performance on the holiday concert. Actually, besides here, just so you know, before they got here, they were in competition.
Yes, they had area or regional tryouts last Saturday, a week ago Saturday, and we had 14 kids advance to the region concert, and our 14 was the highest number of any of the schools that were in the concert.
That awesome.
So our band program is doing very, very well. And then we have some students going on in January trying out for state.
State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stand by for news.
So they went and did that, and then they came back and they were out here playing.
Yes.
I mean, that's how committed they were to be able to do that. So great. They did a great job on the holiday concert too. They brought the junior high together, and they did a great job being able to do that. I also want to pass on congrats to junior high 1X play. Went and saw it here, and then they went and competed. And I tell you what, I mean, their talent level is unbelievable. You saw that play, you thought high schoolers. I mean, really, really professional, and they knocked it out of the park. So without a doubt, when we saw them here, they said they have a real good chance, and they actually took it.
I got a good director.
Yeah, Mrs. Hughes. Yeah, Mrs. Hughes and Mrs. Vena.
Yes.
Yeah, so both of them and the kids and the parents and everybody.
It was awesome.
So that was kudos all the way around. That was great. Want to thank the primary school for Christmas caroling at City Hall. They came around here and a few other places. That worked out. That was a lot of kids. We had a lot of kids. We had to bring them in 3 different groups, be able to do that, and then be able to meet them out there. But that worked out really good. So thank you for doing that. We got birthdays. Actually, today we had Liza's birthday. Tomorrow is Wayne Parks. And then we have David and Anthony on the 21st. So, Richie, there you go. Make sure we take care of them on that one. Do you want to give a little reminder, Charles, just financial disclosure forms? Don't forget and be able to turn them in. Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate you taking care of that. Once again, I want to welcome Zach to the City of Lytle family. Look forward to working with you as we continue to do the great work that Matt has actually and the staff has done. So we really appreciate you being here with that. And lastly, just want to go ahead and give a reminder that we do not have another meeting until the new year. So happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you all. Personally, I'd like to thank our council, staff, employees, our city attorney for all their work in this past year. A year to remember as we accomplished so much in a short time. 2024 looks to be another great year for us with all the dedication and assistance from all of you. Whether it's in the council or their city employees, it's going to be great. Please pass our thanks to all your families as we actually bring 2024. Take the time and be able to enjoy the time and the little bit of downtime that we'll get, whether it's here or maybe in another state, and be able to enjoy a little bit of that. Okay, so with that in mind, it's 8:10. Don't forget, we have still some food available in the back. Do I have a motion for us to go ahead and adjourn?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Okay, got a motion. Do I have a second? Have a second. Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right. Any opposed? Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Good meeting, Mayor. Good meeting.
8:10.